called Behind Every Butt. Okay, I got unmuted somehow. So this is called Behind Every Butt in two parts. Part one, the tale, 20 years ago. A long time ago, in a land far away, the land they call employment, I had a colleague I came to call the Enlightened One. This is how it happened. A small group of us called the hiring team were interviewing people for a very important position in our company. People came from far and wide, hoping for the opportunity to work with us, the chosen. All sorts of people arrived, each one eager to impress us. They were male and female, young and old, dark-skinned and light-skinned, those who looked crisp and clean, and those who looked like they just rolled out of bed, those who were articulate, and those who struggled to speak at all. After weeks of meeting with this motley assortment of people, the hiring team convened to make our decision. I knew implicitly and assumed the others of the chosen also knew that the best candidate for a very important position would need to conform to the social norms of acceptable appearances. Alas, however, one of the candidates, in fact, my top pick, was a woman of enormous proportion. When the chosen ones met to process our decision, I began my commentary, actually with the noble intent of defending the woman of enormous proportion, by saying, I know she's quite large, but before I could utter another word, the one who emerged as the Enlightened One pounced on me unmercifully. You said, but, she screamed. As I opened my mouth to explain myself, the Enlightened One narrowed her eyes and said through clenched teeth, you did. You said, but. When I sat there stunned, she seized the opportunity to say it again, this time shaking her head in pity and declaring sadly, you did. You said, but. Fortunately, before she can confront me again, I must have exhibited signs that I understood. And I did understand. And that's how it came to be that from that day forward, I called my colleague the Enlightened One. Part two, the moral of the story, June 2021. The bottom line is this: behind every but, there's an ism. Here are just two examples that have affected me. The first has been a lifelong ism, sexism. She's a woman, but can you believe she's really just as skilled and capable and intelligent as a man? When I was in high school, I played the trombone, an instrument which was usually played by the boys. In fact, all the other members of the trombone section were males. I was in the first trombone section, meaning we were the most skilled musicians, but I played second chair next to Arthur, who was first chair, first trombone. We had a system in the band in which we could challenge the person seated ahead of us to advance our position. After the third time I challenged Arthur, the band director shook his sexist head and said, well, I'll admit you are better than Arthur, but I just can't put a girl in first chair, first trombone position. I was only 17 at the time. Now at my age, I'd like to think I'd tell the band director to shove my trombone slide where the sun don't shine. The second, more recent ism, speaking of age, is ageism. She's old, but she's still sharp as a tack, by golly. She can actually learn new things. She's even pretty computer savvy for her age. Amazing. Okay, well, my parking skills have taken a hit, but not my overall driving ability. And I am keeping up pretty well with modern technology. I love learning new things as I find the world a very curious place. Don't make any assumptions about me because I have gray hair. These are just two examples, but there are so many isms. And most often they overlap. 2, 3, 4 isms all applied to one poor soul. Why can't we give up the isms and just see the person? Behind every but is an ism, but behind every ism or multiple isms is a person. The challenge is this. If you find yourself using the word but as a qualifier for who a person is, stop yourself and examine your own implicit or maybe explicit bias. Be your own enlightened one. If you hear another person use the word but as a qualifier for who a person is, and if you have the courage, confront them a bit. Be their enlightened one. While this won't end the systemic, insidious, divisive nature of the isms, at least it's a small step toward awareness. That's it. Thank you.